But get ready. Dwight Jones is up next. Now, he's been with Microsoft for over 20 years. He comes from the Seattle area, specifically Redmond, Washington, where I went to high school, actually, a million years ago. And he has an amazing story and journey that will truly resonate with you. He leads the Microsoft BAM group, Blacks at Microsoft. So, Dwight, all over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Craig, for the warm welcome. And thank you for standing on Dr. King's dream and paying it forward. And look at what it has become today. I am honored to be sharing the celebration of Dr. King's birthday and to talk to you about keeping his dream alive. I am a child of the 60s, a native of Atlanta, Georgia, just like Dr. King. And I grew up in the shadow of many civil rights pioneers and their families. So this message is very personal to me. In my talk today, I hope to define the dream, at least from my lens, and share my personal example of living the dream and paying it forward. I want to also share with you how to join in and take the dream forward. Dr. King's dream is fundamentally very simple. Love God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind, and then love your neighbor as yourself. One of the first keys, blessed are the peacemakers, because they will be called the children of God. The dream of Martin Luther King was not unique to him. His dream is universal and it connects us all. What a lesson that we can learn from this Christian pastor and his desire to travel to India to learn Gandhi's message of peaceful change. Gandhi loved, even bounded the wounds of his enemies. He peacefully fought for equity. Once he went on a hunger fast until the ruling caste agreed to worship with the lowest caste. This triggered more equity in India's educational system, helping reconcile for centuries of oppression and disadvantage to lower castes. And look at the results today from Gandhi's fast. Today, India is a world leader in education, with 9 of the top US companies having Indian CEOs. Another component of the dream is reaching back. Jesus teaches us in his example of the Good Samaritan who helped a total stranger of another race, binding the wounds. And he shows us the example of the Good Shepherd who left the 99 for the one missing. Harriet Tubman demonstrated the dream by just not escaping slavery on her own. She could have been free and not looked back, but instead she led 13 missions, walking over 100 miles each time, and saved 85 slaves. She also was the first woman to lead and advise the US Army in an armed assault during the Civil War, saving over 750 slaves. Albert Einstein is known for his genius and his impacts to the world of science and mathematics. He knew the pain of escaping Nazi Germany and the genocide of the Jewish people. Did you know that he also invited young Black students into his home and made, on his rare speaking occasions, many trips to Lincoln University, a historical Black college and university? He was a member of the NAACP, and I even have it on record that he babysitted one of my childhood neighbors from Atlanta, Julian Vaughn, who later became a great civil rights leader alongside of Dr. King. Now, I want to pivot and share a little bit about my family story. The earliest U.S. record that I have of my history is of my great-grandfather. We don't even know his name, but I have him depicted in the slide to the right because he was a slave that worked in this country for free, but he also was a soldier, a part of the U.S. Army, and fought in the Spanish-American War as a slave for free, no benefits. The picture in the middle is of my grandfather to the left, who lived to be 103 years old. He was born on the Jones Plantation in Stanton, Virginia. His father was killed in the Virginia persecution of slaves, and his brother was hung. His mother was a Cherokee Indian, and they had to escape to the South to avoid being killed after the slaves were being persecuted post-Emancipation Proclamation. And my dad, to the left, he was a World War II vet and proudly served and fought in the U.S. Army's all-black unit, the Red Ball Express, under General Dwight D. Eisenhower, where I get my name. He drove trucks to supply the troops and was key to the liberation of France in World War II. He loved driving trucks, and he loved this country. My dad needed an ICC license in the 1960s to be able to take his trucking company from coast to coast. A license that if you were a white man, he would have been able to go to the local municipality to receive it. My dad was often in the media. A Negro denied his 7th appeal to get this ICC license. But my dad had no quit in him. He believed in the dream of Dr. King and of taking it forward for his family. He drove his truck with a load of watermelon to the White House lawn in Washington, D.C. and got his ICC license approved by President Lyndon Johnson. Now, my mother was a woman of faith, and I was 12 years old when my father died. I was lost, but I did not have to leave my home to find Jesus Christ. I saw him move mountains through the faith of my mother. Today, he is moving mountains for me and my family. From my humble beginning, I started in tech on my father's birthday on March 3rd, 1986. I made $7 an hour. This year, I will celebrate 38 years in tech and 21 years at Microsoft, one of the top technology companies in the world. I have led many technical firsts and received many accolades. In 2013, I received the CIO Award, which was Microsoft's IT's top award. I thought that was the highlight of my career, but God had bigger plans. Today, not just me, but my wife and 4 of my 6 kids are full-time employees at Microsoft. Standing on the shoulders of my parents and my grandparents' dream, I have built a new legacy for my family. The final key to the dream is that it's not enough for your personal family success. We have been put on this planet to be a light. And this slide shows that I reach back to the broader community. It is my life's work to help the underrepresented and to share my lessons learned. And that's why I wrote my book, A Black Journey in Tech, to bring others along. I bring college students up to Microsoft campus every month. We fought hard and we've made Juneteenth an actual holiday for the city of Kirkland. This little light of mine, I have to let it shine. We were not put on this earth to put our candle under a bushel. but to put it in a place where others can see the way. We are the light of the world. In summary, we are all created in the image of God. Taking the dream forward is realizing that we all breathe God's breath and we are all his children. Love your neighbor as yourself and love God with all your heart, soul, and might. Stand for peace, love, and justice. The time is always right to do what is right. And follow the example of the Good Shepherd who left the 99 that were comfortable to go after the one. And allow God to use you for a purpose that is bigger than yourself. Here are a few recommended reads, also on audiobooks that can help you along the way. Let's be curious. Let's learn about the dream and then pay it forward. Many of us, knowingly or unknowingly, stand on Dr. King's dream. However, there is so much more work to be done. Let us not take for granted the sacrifices of Dr. King, Gandhi, and countless others who paved the way for our lives. May we all honor his legacy and pay his dream forward. Thank you so much.
One of these groups. One of the highlights of my 25 years at Intel is being part of it. You've got to join.